to the lockdown today. Former New South Wales Aussie enforcer, rugby league great, Luke from the Brains, O'Donnell. I've got a little to look. Hey, see the audience.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for that, Fiddy.
How you doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Been well?
Yeah, been well, thanks, mate. Yeah.
You didn't say that before. We're talking about it before. You said you haven't been well.
Haven't been well?
No, can't be honest.
I've been working away, mate. That's all. I had a bit of a cough. Had a bit of a cough yesterday, mate. People were ducking for cover.
Oh, really?
Been practicing social distancing.
Have you seen that message? We used to cover the fart up with a sneeze, and now you cover the sneeze up with a fart.
No, I haven't heard that one. No.
For anyone who doesn't know Luke, we'd be fucking crazy if you didn't know him. How many tests you play for Australia? 10?
Yeah, 10 or 11, I think. 11, I think, yeah.
Origin, yeah, 2 origins, yeah? Like, so 5 or 6 caps?
5 origins. I missed, 5 origins I played. Missed a few along the way, but through injury and suspension and that sort of thing. But, 5 I got under the belt.
And ended up, retiring getting the ring. He got it. He was part of the 2013 Roosters, that's where we met actually.
Yep.
Had a great season, and people still to this day don't know why he retired. But mate, why did you retire 2013? What was the main reason behind it?
Oh, just a timing thing, I think, Fids. It was, I just felt like I'd achieved a lot in the game, and I'd been overseas a few years prior to that season, and I don't know, it just felt right at the time. I think the Roosters were pretty full up with the salary cap as well, so there's a lot of uncertainty about whether or not they could afford to sign me, and I just made the call, and that was it. Probably, I don't know, looking back, I suppose everyone would think the same. You always think maybe you could have played another year or had to go at another club and all that sort of stuff, but mate, I'm pretty comfortable with making that decision, and it was a good way to finish.
Mate, I see you pretty regularly, and you still look like you'd fucking play right now if you wanted to get on the field. So he's still fit as fuck. What are you weighing, 110?
Yeah, something like that. A little bit heavier than when I played.
Ripped to the bone, like ripped. You have to tense your chest when I said that, mate. Why are you tensing your chest for?
I put my shirt on now. We did a test call before. I had no shirt on, but I put it back on. Kids was getting excited. Yeah.
All right, so rookie year 2000? 99.
No, 2000. I got nominated for rookie of the year, and I got suspended, so I didn't get it.
You got suspended? Really?
Yeah, I got suspended. Yes.
How many times have you been suspended in your career?
Hey, too many. Too many. If I'm honest.
A run for his money, right?
What's that?
You have to have given Hopper a run for his money.
Yeah, I think I'm not. You know what? I remember when he actually sent me a message when he got rubbed out for that shoulder charge on Keith Galloway. He sent me a message saying, "I beat you."
That's it.
Funny guy, yeah.
So rookie of the year. You got nominated. So your rookie year was 2000 at West Tigers, yeah?
Yeah, I made my debut not the year before, but I only played a few games for Balmain, and the next year I started the season with West Tigers, a newly formed club, and then that was my first full season. So
you had some good boys, didn't you? I think Crackers was Anthony McCracken was the captain, yeah?
Yeah, Jared McCracken was the captain. We had a great side. They heavily recruited for the start up of that club, and there was guys like Terry Hill, the McGuinness brothers, young John Scandalis, Darren Senna. There was some really good players.
Hopper was there?
So, Hopper was there. Yeah, Hopper was there. Craig Field. They come over from Manly. Matthew Sears from the North Sydney Bears.
Yeah, mate. Oh, jeez. That's a bad job you got there right there, mate.
No, it was they were good, man. They were
big nights.
They were actually some big names there. Some big names. Plenty of experience on and off the field.
Yeah, so from there, you had a good couple of years, started building a name for yourself. You moved over to North Queensland, is that correct? Yeah, North Queensland, 2003? 4?
That's right, mate. Yeah, 04 was my first year in North Queensland. So I played up until, from 99 Balmain, 2003 with the West Tigers, 2004 was my first year at the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, you really established yourself there at the Cowboys. Really made a name for yourself. I remember watching you. I'm a rugby league fan, obviously, and watching you come up, especially at the Cowboys, you started really like dominating, becoming a really powerful running forward. And a lot of teams didn't have many much ability to stop you. You're getting so much done. Similar to what Jason Taumalolo right now. You're very powerful. It's hard to control that number one, that power, but that explosive power. You weren't just a slug of a man. You were pretty fit, pretty strong, very strong, and you just had this fucking engine. You come across, obviously, you start playing with Jonathan Thurston, who's obviously one of the greatest ever. How was it playing at the Cowboys? Because obviously being around Thurston and Manny Bowen and Searsy and it's some fucking great players. Like that era was a great time for North Queensland.
Yeah, it really was, and it was a great time for me in my career as well. When I left the West Tigers, I was having a bit of a bad run with injuries and that sort of thing. I made a big noise when I first came on the scene, and then a couple of years with suspension and injuries, was sort of out of sorts there a bit. And for me to go to North Queensland was a bit more of an opportunity. It's a base contract. They were a young team. They were a club that had never played semi-final footy, and it was just all a big buzz around the town when I went up there, and we just started the season strongly. And before you knew it, we were playing in the finals, and the fans up there had never experienced that, and they're very passionate supporters, and it was just great to be a part of it. And it was like I said, it was great timing for me. I was only like 24 years old, I think, and it was I don't know, everything sort of steamed on from there. Yeah.
You did so well. Like I was at the game. You guys played Parramatta in the semi, and
Yeah.
Para hot favourites. And all my mates are Para supporters, so I just went there to support you guys. I put on one of those big foam cowboy hats.
Yes,
and I had a big fucking finger.
Yeah.
And mate, it was the greatest feeling seeing you guys be like 36-0 or 30-0 or some shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then obviously he's played the Tigers, and mate, the Tigers turned it fucking on that day. Like one of the best, showings that I've ever seen from the Tigers. I was a Magpie supporter before Storm come in the comp. Obviously I'm Victorian, so I'm starting off Melbourne. But mate, so I have a soft spot for the Tigers, and watching them play, I've never seen Tigers or Magpies play a game like they did in that grand final.
Yeah, everything just stuck for them, didn't it? It was really
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was painful to be on the receiving end of it, but they well and truly put it together that day. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like you obviously learned a lot there, because at the Cowboys, you level after 05, 06, you just started really on the up and up. You become a very dominant player, so dominant that obviously they couldn't overlook you origin-wise, international. You were really good to watch. It was fucking awesome to watch. We don't see many players with that kind of aggression. I call it passion. It's you just probably couldn't control your passion well enough at times, and we'll go into that at the end. But what do you think that little stint there for that 2000 that grand final, losing that grand final? What do you think it did for your future? What kind of player did you become?
Mate, I think just like I said before, the timing and all that of going up to the North Queensland Cowboys, and also the structure they had at the time, and it was heavily training and stuff was heavily based around mental toughness and that. Billy Johnson was our trainer.
Oh, Billy Johnson.
Yeah, very famous name in the strength and conditioning game in rugby league circles, and also boxing. So to have someone like Billy sort of take me under his wing a bit, I suppose, and teach me a few things I needed to be taught, really put me in good stead. And like you said, but the aggression side, I think a lot of players have, but I think I just had a supreme fitness level, and I was able to do it harder than most for longer than most. And that's sort of, I think that's sort of, or that's something that I'm pretty proud of, if that's, part of a bit of a legacy or way people remember me as a player, that makes me pretty happy, So that was something that I definitely push myself with,
I said that to you earlier. I was surprised on how many people actually got back to me. So I asked if anyone wants to ask you questions. I've had a good 10 people ask me, and it was mainly around your style and how much they loved it, but how aggressive you were, and in different ways. They didn't, we'll go into it later, but more about you made you a fan favorite because of your style. It made me a fan of you because before I knew you, for that style, for that reason. So obviously it worked out for you. Probably one of the best examples of that aggression. 2010, it's the Origin. You grabbed Dave Taylor. Mate, I watched the video just about an hour ago. I don't know who the fuck you put on their head, but you put something on his poor head. Dave Taylor's a 20-year-old kid, he's a beast. You've just grabbed him. And what the fuck did you say to him? Because he pretended to be knocked out. He just pretended to cry.
Yeah,
he
to be honest,
he was just like, I'm gone. I'm dead.
Yeah, so it was just a tackle gone wrong a bit on Darius Boyd. I'd actually never started an Origin off the bench, and that particular game, I'd just come off the bench. I was that full of energy, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I wasn't an interchange player ever at club level, and like I said, not even at rep level. So I've come on absolutely, like a ball of energy. Yeah, buzzing, as you do. It's at Suncorp Stadium as well. So I've done one of my first or second kick chase of the game, and Darius Boyd has just run across field and straightened up straight into me. I've gone sort of hit him hip level, and he's come straight off the ground and landed on his head. Yeah, and then before I could get off the ground, I think that the whole Queensland team got in a queue and took turns at punching me in the head while I was trying to get up. So by the time I got up, poor old Dave Taylor, must have been his turn. He had hold of me. He had about 20 kilos body weight on me, so I couldn't get away. And then I think Sam Thido was still trying to have a go at me. I could feel little dents, little dings on the back of the head. So the only way I could get away was to give him a bit of a nudge with my head, and that sort of loosened his grip a little bit. And then I don't know.
Is that what split? Yeah, you got split. Tell me it was from the headbutt.
No, I don't think so. I think it was from someone. Like I said, someone on the ground. Yeah.
Well, you headbutt him, and then you grabbed him by the collar, and you've just gone whack, and you've punched him.
Yeah.
He's pretended to be sleeping or pretend he's not there. He just turned his head and went quiet. But
floppy,
this is what typifies your style. It's Origin. People have told me it's there's nothing that compares to that emotion. As a player, especially as a rugby league player, coming out to play Origin. But you basically did that week in, week out, even at club level. You were exactly the same. I saw you at the Roosters. You're 50-year-old, and mate, people just didn't want to tackle you. There was no niggle in the fucking ruck. Everyone would just tackle you, get the fuck away from you, just let him play the ball. Fuck it, don't get in his way.
I don't know, mate. I just there was a fair bit of footy played in between all that sort of stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I just like I said, I don't know if it was a respect thing by the time I was at the Roosters there. Like you said, I was 50 years old, but I was just mate, I don't know. I just did my best every week, and I like to think that I was one of those guys that never went away. You know what I mean? No matter how hard I got hit or how much work I had to do, I was always there. You know what I mean? So probably didn't make much sense to cross swords with me because I was going to keep coming.
Well, it's you just said that you keep coming. I tell this to everyone because I hold pads all day long, and I go, the only bloke that's ever tapped me out holding pads is you. I remember we were training at Roosters. I think you got in trouble for a late night out at the Cross or something. So you had 3 weeks off, or 2 weeks off, and then but you were allowed to box with me, and you're like, I'm holding pads for you. We've done 10 rounds, and you're 100. Back then, you would have been 108 or 107 or something, ripped to the fucking bone, and you didn't stop. And we 10 3-minute rounds, and we're going hard. And I said, mate, I've had enough. And you're like, no, it's still another round. I'm like, fuck. So imagine you on the field, and I say the one guy I would have wished could fight that I seen fight in the ring. Now, Gal's got a lot of ticker. He's not bad, but he's got a lot of ticker. His fights are won through his heart. Like his game, the way he used to play football is all the same. Hopper had a crack. Obviously, Sol was pretty good, technical. Mate, I tell everyone, the best I've seen was you. And I wonder to this day, why didn't you ever fight? Now I know we tried, but I know we were doing some MMA. But why didn't you get in the ring after your post football?
Mate, I don't know, just a timing thing, I think. Like you said, when you took us out to some areas and did a little bit of sparring out there, I suppose I probably could have. If I was ever going to do it, it would have been then. But I mean, other things in my life probably weren't in great shape, So I probably focused, having my two kids and just having retired from footy. I think there was other things I needed to focus on. But I don't know. I don't know. I really enjoy doing that sort of training. So,
Well, not just boxing, but MMA. Like I bumped into a friend of mine that used to go to Alexandria, Gracie Barra, and he told me, he goes, "Oh, something about you come up," and he goes to me, "Mate, that bloke walked in our gym, bashed the 10 of us, ragdolled 10 of us in a row, tapped us all out, and it took one of our big black belts to go in there and settle him a bit." He goes, he just fucked us up. Everyone, and they're all purple and blue belts. He goes, he's just walking off the street and bashed us all. So even at the MMA level, you would have done excellent. So it's a bit of a shame that you didn't move on to that next level. But like you said, I was around you a fair bit back when you retired. Headspace wasn't the greatest. As I've documented with a lot of ex-sports people, I say this word constantly about transition, life after footy or sports or boxing or fight game, whatever it is, where you're a star and then overnight you become, respectfully speaking, a nobody. You got no money, as in the sense that financially your managers are just there to do the deal. Not many managers actually go above and beyond. The clubs, they act like they care at the moment, but we all know that it's a business to them. And when your life's spent, you're at the fucking door. So as I said to all footy players that talk to me, especially footy players, mate, there's no loyalty to the club, because in the end of the day, if it comes down to a financial decision, they're not going to be loyal to you. I go back to this point where the transition was pretty hard for you, because I saw it firsthand, all right? And, like I've seen it with Garth, who'll be on tomorrow. Mate, how much do you reckon the trauma of the transition period being so hard, how much do you think has to do with PTSD or possibly like concussion, stuff like that? Because you read a lot about it in America, with NFL players especially. Rugby league's the hardest game in the world, team sport in the world. You haven't got padding, you haven't got a helmet. If you've got a helmet, it's just to cover your ears, really. Do you think it has anything to do with that, like that, especially with older players like yourself at the end of your careers? You're very physical. You've probably been wobbled a few times and concussed, and which goes naturally as a prop or as a forward. Do you think that has anything to do with that transitional period? Like, do you of you not actually able to see what's right and what's wrong? Or, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do understand what you're asking. Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer, mate. But I definitely remember, now having adapted to a normal life or what you do, aside from being a professional athlete, I look back at a time when I didn't have those skills, those life skills, and that same direction, because of all those things you just said. Like, you go from being a professional athlete and financially secure and all that sort of thing to you don't have the same structure, you don't have the same income, you've got bills to pay, and you're not training like you used to, so you're not in the same physical shape. That doesn't help your mental well-being, and on top of that, it's just you feel a fair amount of fatigue. It is almost like a bit of mental fatigue. I don't know if that's due to that sort of thing, or if it's just due to the whole thing, like all those things coming together, just to make just a cluster. And just not having the direction or the structure, and not knowing what it is you want to do with life, and what it is that you need to do either to sustain yourself, financially, and get back some sort of direction. I think in all of those things, it's almost like a big concussion. There's so much to take in, and so much to learn, and nobody really, I don't know. You don't really have that many people that understand you, that can assist. You know what I mean? So it's a difficult time. Yeah.
Well, in the States, don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure NFL and probably in the NBA, a set amount of money that they make has to be put into a fund, players' fund. So it's an investment fund for the players. They can't spend all their money. So when they do retire, they release this money over a 20 or 30-year period. So let's say they've made $100 million. I'm pretty sure 20 million of it gets invested in, and then they give that back over the next couple of years as a salary. I mean, so you've got
after
life
retirement.
after retirement. So that financial strain or that, structure is a massive thing because you've been an athlete since you're 15, 16-year-old.
Yep.
But to go there and then not have money as well, or not get paid that $1 million a year or whatever it is, it's a bit damaging. So there's a lot that I think in our AFL as well, everyone has to work on.
What that people probably don't understand as well, what's hard to explain to people, I should say, is that you're under. It's the pressure, that timing of that timing in life, I suppose. Like for me, like I had 2 kids and I had mortgages and stuff like that, and it's just the timing thing. If you weren't able to, put yourself in a position where your investments are like sort of looking after themselves when you retire, then you're under all sorts of pressure. So to have that buffer where you're getting some sort of wage, it puts you in more of a better headspace, I think, where you can relax a bit and make a bit more of a cool, calm decision rather than a decision under pressure, which is what it feels like when you retire in that same circumstance that I did, and probably a lot of guys they come through the same era as me. You know what I mean? Like now guys are making a bit more money and there's a bit more scope to probably set themselves up a lot more comfortable, for retirement. But I dare say a lot of guys my age would have had the exact same experience come retirement.
Yeah, it's something that they have to work towards, and again, I keep on saying these things because of seeing you firsthand, the experience you went through. Garth's a good example, Nat's a good example. Like people I know personally, seeing what they go through life after footy, they just expect you to be a trainer straight after you retire. But maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe that's not in your cards. But what else can you fucking do? That's the question. And I think they've got to take more. The club's got to take more onus, or the league, on education and life. Like you just said, life skills is really important. Because even if you go to school and learn shit, a lot of them don't have life skills to pay their bloody bills after footy. If they haven't got a missus, they just have no chance of doing the right things there.
That's right. Yeah. And like there's certainly many good things and good good skills that you learn from being a professional athlete for such a long time. But just knowing it takes a long time after you retire to learn how to apply those skills to that normal sort of life. You know what I mean? Where you can use them, where you can't.
Well, mate, you're back on track. You're back on track now. I know that. You're the best I've seen you since I've known you, to be honest. And it's good to see because I'm happy for you. But look, we got some viewer questions. All right.
So what questions? Sorry.
We've got viewers' questions. All right, from the viewers.
Viewers. Okay.
My 10 people that watch this show. So. Okay. First one's from Dennis Ryder. All right, he's a bloke I used to play footy with. Okay. He asks, does he think he fulfilled his potential? And his supposed on-field ill discipline, did that hinder his career, or it was what it was?
Okay. First part of the question, I suppose. I know where he's coming from with that question. I'd say probably didn't fully reach my potential in that I missed a lot of games and like a lot of rep footy and that sort of thing through suspension. Which is probably, well, not probably. It is regretful to miss games through suspension. You'd put in so much hard work to get yourself to such a good level of fitness and that sort of thing. But it was just a shame that back in those days too, they had that loading system where, you know, a lot of my suspensions weren't really all. There was a couple there for ill discipline, but like a lot of them were just for like they were a bit of a byproduct of the way I played. So might have been a little bit reckless, a little bit careless things here and there. But yeah, like that was just a byproduct. Like I was encouraged by my coaches to play that way, and my teammates loved it, and like that's what put me in rep teams as well a lot of the time. So those things that were a byproduct, you had to take it as you know, just all part of it, I suppose. But
Part of your style, yeah.
Part of my style, yeah. But it is disappointing, especially when you look back and like I only played 5 Origins over so many years. You know, I probably should have played a lot more of that, and that sort of tends to propel you to sort of greater heights as well as a player. So maybe you know, had I not been suspended so much, maybe I would have got to a bit of a higher sort of standing in the game. Although, you know, I'm pretty happy with when I was playing, like, you know, what I shown and hopefully what people enjoyed about watching me. You know,
you should be happy because I don't think, like, even since you've gone, like there's odd names like Adam Fanua-Blake and stuff that, you know, that play similar to what you did, but no, Sam Burgess, no one similar. Yeah. But the aggression, obviously, you got your own calling card. You know, when everyone talks about Luke O'Donnell, there's a certain style, and mate, like you said, there is basically some fallout from that style, and that's what it is. You probably wouldn't be able to get it. As you know, Sam Burgess, same thing. You know, like his style just keeps on getting him suspended. And that's just the way it works. And I guess you wouldn't be the player you were if you didn't play that way. So I wouldn't worry too much. He's an ex-copper. He's an ex-copper. He asked those stupid questions. All right. All right. This one's from Ray Kelly. Now, Ray Kelly's the 2019 Exercise Physiologist of the Year. All right. He's a genius of a man. Okay. But he kind of fangirled me last night when he found out that you're on the show. But he sent this one through. Right. He's obviously a natural leader. I'd be keen to know who influenced that, i.e. leading by example, rolling up his sleeves, not complaining.
Yeah, right. Probably a few people. I'd say it's hard to pinpoint one, but like leadership sort of comes from you know, you hear people talk about culture and stuff like that. It gets thrown around pretty willy-nilly, but I mean, if you're ever around or at a young age around or involved with a club when in footy terms, footy sort of talk, a club with a good culture, that's something that you sort of keep with you. And you tend to, as a young guy, I was pretty quiet. So I was always, you know, not, you know, I spoke when I was spoken to, but I was always a good observer, and I always enjoyed playing with guys who didn't have to always say a lot, but led by their actions. And led by example. That's right. Yeah, and I think I was lucky enough to be around a few of those guys when I was young, and also, they were the type of people that I looked up to, and the type of player that I liked to sort of mold myself on. And I think that was, I don't know, I'm proud of myself on also being that same sort of role model for young guys that I play with. You know, I like to take them under my wing, not so much by saying too much to them, but like letting them know that I was gonna, you know, get a job done for them and say follow me sort of thing. I don't know.
Leading by example makes a huge difference in a young kid. It always teaches them good things. All right, the third question from Danny Ristevski. I want to know what the difference was between playing in Australia and England for him as an edge forward converting to a prop, and his time in the Super League making him a better player. He obviously won the comp with the Roosters that year, and he was in their top 5 players, and he was a prop. So you got that?
Changed. Not really.
So the difference between Australia and England?
Yes.
The styles and you playing as an edge forward, you know, or playing a prop in England.
I got you.
And how you use that? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So the difference between the Aussie and the English game, I think it's just a lot of it comes down to the weather conditions, I believe. So like over in England, early in the season, the weather's quite poor, so you get a lot of play around the middle of the field and that sort of thing, and then not a whole lot of like flamboyant play. So then, as soon as the weather dries up, it's like everybody starts passing the ball more. So you get like a bit more of an attacking style of footy. Whereas in Australia, it's very, very condition-based game these days. So like everything's about speed. Like the weather's quite good right throughout the season. Even like when we're training in off season, it's warm. It's quite dry and that sort of thing. So everyone's quite sharp on their feet right throughout the year, and it's more based on quick capitalizing on quick play balls and all that sort of stuff, and catching teams offside and going back and all that sort of stuff. Whereas in England, there's a lot more. You find a lot more space, space to move the ball to. So I don't know. There's a lot more ball movement, I think, in the English game.
And that helped you obviously go into a team that good like the Roosters.
It did, yeah.
Their skill level that year was fucking remarkable. It was just crazy.
Yeah, that's right. And I played against Robbo's team, Le Catalans, when I was in England. He was coaching Le Catalans, and that's the style they played. And Nathan Brown was my coach in England, and that was a style we played also. Like a lot of the forwards used the ball a lot. There was a lot of 2-pass, 3-passing, second phase play and that sort of thing. And Robbo asked me to come back to the Roosters for 2013 season. I felt like he incorporated that same style. To the Roosters, and it was like easy for me to adapt to because we'll play in a similar way over there.
But what a team! Like, and he, rightly so. Danny said you're top 5 player in that team. Mate, I thought the same. I thought you were the top 5 player that year, and you probably have never seen a team that stacked. To be honest, it's a fucking nearly as good as the Green Machine back in when's that 1994. That team was that Roosters team was fucking stacked to the shit house. It was a great team. I love being around. The culture was crazy as well.
Yeah.
And for you to stand out as a forward, as a prop, to stand out the way you did, like I said, I know personally how surprised all the players were when you didn't come back. Even the players were surprised you didn't come back. So anyway, decisions were made, and that's fine. But all right, next question. This is from Darren Caldwell. Red.
Red, yeah, I do. Yeah, I think so.
Daz,
Daz, maybe, yeah.
You know, Red. Don't worry, you know him. I can't say his real name because it's a bit rude. But
okay.
What do you think about Ben Creagh being a chicken shit during 2009 Origin Game 3? You're one of the only ones that had a crack earlier, while Ben Creagh did the bolt looking like a Derek after he instigated the chase. Your thoughts when it happened?
No, I don't really, mate. You know what? To be honest, I don't really remember too much about that one. But I remember.
I just watched it. It's fucking bad.
He copped a bit of bagging about it, Benny Creagh. But mate, he's not. Yeah, that's he was a great player, Ben Creagh. But yeah, that wasn't probably one of his highlights for him. He probably laughed. He'd be having a good laugh at himself anyway, Benny. He wouldn't worry him too much. Yeah.
All right, next question. From Scott Peniaha. He's from Brisbane, Queensland. Luke, being a hard man, the great bloke, and knowing he wouldn't take a step back in a fisticuff on the field, who would he have not liked to have gone toe-to-toe with and why? I know the answer to this. I know you too well. But anyway, say it.
Who would I not want to go toe-to-toe with?
Fucking no one. You'd find anyone. Don't say you wouldn't.
I was going to say, so many people have asked me this question, and you know what? I think to myself sometimes, there's probably a few of them in that first team I played in for the West Tigers. There's a few nutters in there, guys like Terry Hill, someone like that.
Oh, Tessa, you get a crack.
Probably have to hit Terry with a baseball bat to stop him, I reckon. Guys like, I don't know, guys like that, I suppose. Whoever you're going to run out of steam on.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't run out of steam on anyone, mate, to be honest. But I said to him, mate, there's no one that he'll say no to. He'd love to fight anyone.
Yeah.
All right, last question from Andre, from Onge Broughton. Yeah. He asked to ask you about the wishbone tackle in 2007.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Now, they didn't get suspended for that, did they? They didn't.
No, they didn't. No.
What do you remember about that and the fallout from it?
I remember that clearly. I remember it like it was yesterday. So, yeah, what happened? They actually cited Bryce Gibbs and someone else. They had nothing to do with it. It was another player. Won't mention his name. It's all dead and buried now. But anyway.
Mention it.
No. Does me no favours. Does me no favours. Actually, I'll tell you what, every time I played West Tigers after that, the referees were just waiting. Like, every time I tackled someone half hard, they'd penalise me. The papers would always say, oh, he's going to be out for revenge and all this sort of garbage. Anyway, so I ran into them, and it was one of those tackles where you have a collision, then you kind of stop for a second, and you usually like either spin away or get to the ground or keep running. But for whatever reason, I just paused for a split second, and one of the boys grabbed the leg off the ground. So I had two guys on one side of my body. The other leg, my left leg, was just reefed out from under me. And like as they kept reefing at it, like sort of almost pulling my hip out of the socket. And I just remember feeling my hammies start to tear, almost like a Velcro strap. I could feel it like slowly starting to. You think you can hear it, but it's like, I think it's just a feeling, you know? It's such a vivid feeling. You think you hear it tear. Anyway, and I started yelling out. I was going, oh, my leg. Because they had it like fully outstretched, like my knee was like completely, extended. And then as the two guys that had me, they let go, the guy with my leg wound it sort of all the way back around the other way. So I was doing the splits. So my pelvis was the first thing that hit the deck, and everything snapped. I felt my three hamstring tendons tore from the bone, and I dislocated my hip as well. So pretty nasty outcome. And yeah, that's it. They cited the wrong guys for whatever reason. But the guy who
what was your recovery?
Mate, 18 months. I had
was that long?
Yeah, it was 18 months because what happened, I think it was only like round 2, I think, of the season. I had to go to Melbourne, have the surgery and all that. Then after I was making a comeback, my hip was I just knew something wasn't right in the hip. I played a game against the Warriors, I think the following year, and in another tackle, my hip just sort of felt like it almost come out of the socket again, and then I had to have another operation. So I was out for another little stint, but the initial injury was from that dislocation. So it was a bugger that was, mate. And it's sort of.
Did you ever worry about retirement? Did you ever worry about retirement then?
I did, because I was told that the recovery of it is like sort of a bit of uncertainty, because the damage that I had done to my sciatic nerve was to the extent where they didn't know how good it was going to come back. I actually had that drop foot for a while too, which was pretty scary when I first started to jog. Yeah. So I was just really fortunate that it come back the way it did. So
yeah. Oh, good question, eh?
Yeah.
All right, so we come to the end of the show, but I've got the 1 minute wonder now. So 1 minute wonder is, we just got a couple of questions for you. You got to answer them real quick, no thinking, whatever comes to mind.
Man, I'm already sweating.
No, it's nothing bad. It's all good ones. All right. So, mate, best player you've played alongside?
Thurston, Johns, two. Yeah. Two.
Best player you've played against?
Johns. Andrew Johns. Yeah.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that's what Jimmy said too. All right. Toughest player you've ever played with or against?
Toughest guy. Probably. I used to like Gordon Tallis when I was young. Played a few games against him. Played with a lot of tough guys. Oh man, put me on the spot. Wow, there's been too many tough guys.
Would have been a great fight, you and Tallis on the field.
Yeah. You know what? Denny Badiris, we would have stopped playing with our head, me and Gordo. Denny Badiris was pretty tough guy, yeah.
Right, grubbiest player you've played against?
Grubbiest player.
Yeah.
Oh, Grubby. Oh, Grumpy.
Grubby, like dirty player, like big inner styles.
Oh man. Nat Woods. Nah.
No, he's the dirtiest player you've ever played. Have your ball sacks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The grubbiest player, I don't know. I'm stumped. Do I have a time limit on these?
Yeah, it's fucking about 15 minutes in.
It's been plenty.
All right, one regret about your career. One regret.
One regret. Just running in with arguing with referees gets you nowhere.
Yes, can't win. Best player in the game today.
Talmalolo.
Yeah.
I like what's new.
Very nice. Most overrated player in the game today. Come the Wolves. Fuck them. Don't worry about it. Come on.
Wow. Man, I haven't been watching much footy. Overrated. There's lots, man.
Okay. Who's the most overrated?
I can't say. I can't. You know what? I can't answer that.
Shit. You fucking Wolves.
You know why they get rated?
You're like Ben Cray running away fucking for everyone.
Oh man.
All right. Who's the next NRL champs? If we get back this year or next year, who do you reckon? What's the best team?
Roosters.
Really?
I think so.
Fuck. Yeah. Anyway, who wins, Tyson Fury or AJ?
Tyson Fury.
It's good, man. Fuck, what do you have to think about that for?
Yeah.
Last question. This
right.
This typifies you because this is what you're about. Who wins, striker or takedown?
You need a bit of both.
You got a both.
You need a bit of both, they are.
Nah, we're gonna win, mate. Striker versus takedown.
Takedown, I reckon.
You fucking rugby league.
You're gonna say because
soft.
Yeah, what if you can strike on the ground?
I can just punch him. Don't worry about it. It's done.
Strike on the way up.
It only lasts one punch. Fuck. Yeah. All right, Luke. Thanks for your time, bro. I've had a good time. Actually, it was good to see you. Good to talk to you. Wishing you all the best with your business. Killing it at the moment, mate. It's good. Really good to see you the way you are right now. Good headspace, healthy as. Keep up the good work, man. And thanks for your time, bro.
No worries, man. No worries. Anytime.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon. See you, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.